All right, so we're here at the Origins Game Fair, and we're talking to Brent from Two Lanterns Games with a new game that they just brought out. So, Brent, tell me a little bit about yourself, what you do at the company.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm the game designer and founder for Two Lanterns Games. We're very small. It's just me and my wife right now. Basically, we got married in 2008, and we just ripped through two-player game titles. Cosmos two-player series, all of them. And we decided we just wanted a little bit more. So we started designing two-player games, and we came up with one that was an instant hit with our friends, so we expanded to play testing. It was a hit with them, and we decided why not, so we took the plunge and went ahead and published it, and have been very pleased with the feedback we're getting so far. So yeah, our company designs two-player games that are going to be in the ilk of the Cosmos series. Accessible, but strategic and replayable, play in about 30 minutes, good for husbands, wives, friends, roommates, whatever, all two-player gaming situations.
So why a game about mushrooms?
That hinges on the core mechanic that started this game. Has the feel of a walk in the woods. I could have gone conveyor belt, I could have gone industrial, I could have had you walking through a cave collecting gems, but we wanted something that was unique. And because we're both outdoorsy and we enjoy hiking, and we had just recently gotten into mushroom culture, Kayleen, that's my wife, she actually threw me a Hobbit birthday party for my 33rd for the coming of age. Hobbits love mushrooms, I love mushrooms. She threw me a mushroom tasting party, and that drew us into this whole world. We started foraging and realized how fun it was, and have really had a lot of fun with it. Also, we figured it's unique. It's the only mushroom strategy game out there. We've got the market cornered, and a lot of people have really been interested in it. They love to eat mushrooms, former chefs, mushroom foragers. We've been invited. We'll be speaking at mushroom foraging events all over the country, promoting the game, so we've got a nice crossover market. But regardless of the theme, I think it would play well enough even if we just had cards with numbers on them. So if you like the theme, if you don't, it works. And it does feel like a walk in the woods. You'll see that as we demo it here in a second.
All right. So well, why don't we take a look at it? Let's talk about how the game actually works, what the goals are.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the object of the game is going to be to forage for mushrooms and to cook them up for dinner to score victory points.
Okay.
We've got some guide cards here. And the guide cards will allow you to see the distribution of all the cards that are in the day deck. This is the day deck, this is the night deck, just to get the terminology out there. This is the forest. Okay. Every turn except for the turns at the very end of the game will begin with 8 cards in the forest. Okay. These are going to be flowing down towards us because we're hiking this direction. So it's like we're passing them by on our walk in the woods. Okay. All right. At the heart of the game are cooking 3 or more like mushrooms, a la set collection, or selling 2 or more like mushrooms in order to get the foraging sticks, which have been my hand-carving project since November to get ready for launch. And those will enable you to have more options in the forest for what you can do. So there's a lot of power in those sticks. And some of the strategy is going to hinge on whether to sell mushrooms or whether to cook them. Particularly when you only have 2, so they're sellable, but you might have to wait a little while to add the 3rd. And the other side of this game is, in addition to being set collection, it's also hand management. You start with a hand limit of 8 cards. It can go up a little bit via the baskets, keeping in the theme of the game. You can obviously carry more mushrooms with baskets than without. So that's going to extend your hand limit by 2 cards for the rest of the game if you've got a basket. All right, so we've got lots of different cards here. Some are more accessory, some are the mushrooms themselves. If you look at a mushroom card, each one has a unique value pairing. And I researched about 100 different types of mushrooms to get ones that were popular, ones that had nice names, and ones that would evoke some cool art. And I worked with an artist. I live in Pittsburgh now. I'm born and raised in St. Louis, but we're there now. The artist was just down the street from me, so we could collaborate closely, and I think he did a great job. But anyway, so we've got the cards figured out. You see there's a value under the pan. That's the value for cooking the mushroom in a set of 3 or more. So if you cooked 3 Hen of the Woods, you would score 9 points towards winning the game. Okay. Yep. One little addition to that is you have to have pans in which to cook. You can't just cook onto the table. You start the game with a pan token. So I didn't want a situation where if the pans don't come out until late, you would be stymied. So you start with one as a little freebie, and then there will be more pans coming out during the course of the game. The games really vary wildly, and that's some of the replayability is you can have a game that's played really well where you only cook twice, but maybe they're really large cooks for a lot of points, or a game where you're cooking 6 times and you're constantly turning over your hand, opening up space so you can collect more. It really varies. You can also have games that end up, so I mentioned that you would get 9 points if you cook 3 of these. You might have a good game that ends up with a final score of 25-20, particularly if we're playing defensively. If you notice that I'm collecting Hen of the Woods and you start trying to take them to prevent me from getting them, I'm not going to be able to amass huge points. If, however, we're both playing offensively, you're taking what you need, I'm taking what I need, things are just clicking, we might have a really good game that ends 60-55. So wildly different depending on how things unfold. So we've got an idea of how those values work. The Morel is the most valuable card in the game, as you might guess. It's worth 6 points to cook, 4 points to sell, but there are only 3 of them in the day deck. So you have to get all 3 in order to cook them. Sirens are going to be going off when you take a Morel, because I know I need to maybe stockpile some sticks, get ready to play some defense, and you might do the same to play some offense. Okay, I'll explain now. We've talked about foraging during the daytime a little bit. This is the night deck. The night deck is important because most of the information in this game is known. If you take a Hen of the Woods, I'm going to remember that you took that. And it's a variable investment game. You know, you can drink a beer and not pay attention and play okay. Or if you're a Hearts player, you like games in that vein, you can keep track of everything, and it's certainly going to improve your quality of play. But with the night cards, let's say I'll go ahead and set up an example here. We need a moon on the board. So we'll say that this card is out here. And on your turn, we look down here, look at the 5 options, and we see that one of the options is take 1 card from the forest. Well, we're walking this way, and the deal is the 2 over on this side, away from the deck, are at your feet. They make for easy collecting. You can just pick one up, and you can take it. It'll be in your hand. So you decide, you know what? The tree ear is interesting. I've already got a couple of those, but I'm going to gamble because I think I might sell those on a future turn. I'm going to gamble and go foraging at night. So you take the moon. What's going to happen is it's going to go into the discard. We'll start the discard, and you're going to take the top card off the night deck. A couple of things were achieved. Oh, that's perfect. A couple of things were achieved by that. A, that's hidden information. I don't know what you just took. It also pumps a little bit of luck in the game because some night cards are better than others. You know, if you get a night chanterelle that's worth a lot of points, that's better than a night honey fungus, which isn't worth so much. It also is going to build in some deduction because if we had a situation where you had been ignoring tree ears all along, and all of a sudden you start picking them up, I might deduce that you have the night tree ear. Those deductions can add up because at the end of the game, we might have a situation where there's 1 night card left, and I am presented with the decision of taking a moon or taking a card that I know is going to help my hand. And if I can figure out what that is, and you often can, I can value the cards appropriately and figure out if I want to go foraging at night or take the card that I know helps me.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that's that. So you've got that in your hand. No matter which of the 5 options you do, 1 card will always peel off to what we call the decay.
Okay.
And that's what's going to generate the feel of the walk in the woods. You took a card, which was the moon, gave you that. 1 peeled off. Now we're going to slide these down. The deck refills from the back. So all of the strategy is going to be flowing towards us as we're progressing through the game. Now, one of the options is to take all the cards from the decay. There's only 1 card in there now, but it can build up to 4 cards, which is great because it's like taking 4 turns in one, as long as you like the thought of having all of those cards in your hand. There is a hand limit, so you don't necessarily want to clutter with things that you don't like. Okay, so I look down, and I've actually got a pretty nice option there. I've got a shiitake in my hand. I've got a shiitake on the board. I'm going to go ahead and make this a usable set and take it. We peel this one off, and you get an idea for the flow of the game, how it works. Now we'll demonstrate something else. We should have 8 cards, 8. We go over to you, and you've got a decision here. You could take all the cards in the decay. You could take one of these cards, but you're thinking, you know what? I want to go ahead and get some power to my swagger, some power to my step. So I'm going to go ahead and sell all 4 of these tree ears. You can sell in sets of 2 or more, so that's perfectly legal. You could have cooked them, but the tree ear is the only card in the game that's worth more to sell than it is to cook, so it behooves you to do that. I did that intentionally. The values of the cards correlate with how good the mushroom tastes and what it sells for at market. These don't taste particularly good, but they have medicinal value, so they sell. So you're going to go ahead and sell them, and you're going to get 8 foraging sticks for that. 2 per tree ear. This is 2, 4, and this is a double, 6, 8. So these go to the discard, and you get to take the hand-carved foraging sticks. You get 8 of them, which is a nice haul, really. You're going to have a lot of options on future turns. Okay, and a card would peel off to the decay. That always happens. It comes over to me. Let's say I take the basket, so I extend my hand limit. This peels off. Now let's say, I'm going to dig a little here to set up an example. Let's say that we had, we'll just keep it simple. We'll say we had another moon. And we'll say that you really want that. You want that more so than you want either of these or than you want all of these. So the way the sticks work is these are free, and you might even be able to guess where I'm going with this. Cards beyond the 2 at your feet cost 1 stick per card beyond. Okay, so we should have, I think I came 1 light. So if you wanted the moon, that would cost you 2 sticks in order to take it. So you would pay these to there, you would take this comes here, that goes into your hand, boom, you just got a night fairy ring. Now just a little note, we're going to go over 4 here, so these are going to go away and we'll start a new decay. Just a little note for the folks that like the art, we decided to tell a little story between the day card and the night card, so they're always going to have a change in them. So with the fairy ring, that one pretty much wrote itself. Of course, it's going to come alive at night. Some of them are a little more subtle, but that was just something we wanted to have in there for the folks that like to enjoy the art. Okay, so we did that.
Would these have a combination value?
Well, basically, this would be a set of 3 mushrooms together. So this would be worth 6, this would be worth 3. So if you cooked
no
it,
extra bonus.
no extra bonus. The cards that will give you a little extra bonus are the butter and the cider. The butter here, I wanted to reward folks for cooking large sets of mushrooms. It can be tough to do. So if you feel incentivized to keep building your set larger and larger, you can be rewarded for doing that. This will give you 3 extra victory points if you're able to cook this with a set of 4 or more like mushrooms.
Okay.
The cider, which we don't have out right now, but it's like a super butter. It'll reward you 5 victory points if you can cook with a set of 5 or more like mushrooms.
Wow.
All right, well, I'm going to do one more little thing here, and I think you'll have the gist of the game by the time I do it. Let's say that you had some honey fungus in your hand, and you've got a pan in your hand, and we'll reset the forest here so that we've got 8 cards in it. Now let's say that it's your turn, and I've been collecting Hen of the Woods, but I have no sticks. Okay, so you can control the pace of the hike, and that's a lot of the strategy of the game, is if you know I want this, you can prevent me from getting it. One way to do it would be to pay 2 sticks and take it. But if you don't want it, there are other ways to do it. Let's say instead you're going to cook. So we'll demonstrate a cook here. There are 2 ways you can do it. You can lay down the set of 3 or more into a pan that's in your play area, or you can lay it down with the pan from your hand, which is actually the handier thing to do because it's going to open up space and allow you, you have a hand limit. Exactly, to accumulate more. So you're going to cook. That's going to score you 3 points towards winning the game. I can never mess with that. That's yours for good. You don't need a scoring track in this game because all of your cook sets are going to be down in front of you. We can easily see what the score is at any time. You score 3 points. Now, because you didn't take a card from the forest, only 1 card is going to come out of it, and you kept that Hen of Woods just out of reach for me when we reset the forest. If, however, you had taken, instead of doing this, if you had taken the butter, thinking you would use it later, that would have come to your hand, this would have come off, and this would be at my feet. So controlling the pace of the hike is also a part of the strategy of the game. Manage your hand by taking decays or taking here. That's you've got the strategy package there with the game.
And you get 1 cook per pan.
1 cook per pan, and then it's done for good.
You got to wait till you get another pan before you cook it.
Yep. And anywhere, like I said, anywhere from 2 to 6 cooks per game. So you'll need to pick up pans, but they're not essential every time. You can let some pass by.
So victory conditions would be.
Yep, the game will end when the last card disappears from the forest. So we'll actually get to go through the whole day deck. The game takes about 30 minutes to play, and I'm not one of those folks who says about 30 and it actually takes an hour. It will not take more than 30. Once you've played your first game, games are normally 25 to 30 minutes. Once you've played a lot, they're about 20 minutes. We wanted a game that was highly replayable, that you could have several in a row in a session. And one of our little things is we would rather have you beg for a rematch than pray for an ending. So all of our games are going to be fairly quick and replayable.
So when you were designing this, did you do all the, you said you worked with an artist for the art.
Yep.
Did you do all the mechanics otherwise, like figuring out the point values per card?
Yep, and this was one of those flashes that came upon me, 2 a.m., laying in bed, had been working on some other designs, came up with the idea for this rolling tableau here. It felt like a walk in the woods. I came up with the mushroom idea, and then the theme and the mechanics knit and started suggesting. The mushroom theme suggested further mechanics like the basket and the hand limit extension, and then the mechanics suggested further themes. So the game almost built itself. So from about 2 to 3 a.m. one morning, I scribbled down most of what became the core of the game. It really didn't have to be altered much. A lot of research to figure out which mushrooms, but even the initial point values, we ended up using. It turned out that it was perfect. We had it play tested by a lot of groups. We were in Seattle at the time, and the feedback all came back positive. So we said, you know what, let's keep it as is. It's playing well. Let's do it.
So, like, from the initial idea that you had, how long did it take you to actually ramp up and create the game itself?
Well, after the first, we had 2 groups play test it. All their stuff came back really positive, so we felt good. We knew we were moving to Pittsburgh at the end of last summer. So we waited until we got there, and so I could have a local artist. I looked through all of the artists that I was going to, figure out who I wanted to work with. Found one that was perfect through the Pittsburgh Society of Illustrators. We started working together. It took him about 3 months to do all of the art. A lot of detail because I had to get the biology right as well. So like the host trees and the season, that had to all be correct. So he did a great job with the art, and we went ahead and had it. It was started being manufactured in January, and it arrived on my doorstep last week.
Holy cow. That was a fast turnaround.
Yep. And the birthday that kicked off this story, the 33rd coming of age, was almost exactly 1 year to the day from that mushroom introduction to the time we received the game on our doorstep.
So if somebody wanted to buy the game, what would they do?
They can go to my website, which is twolanternsgames.com. We're selling direct through us right now. We don't have a distributorship agreement yet. So it's $25. And for the conventions, we do the special promo, which is the hand-carved sticks and the custom 3D pans. Normally, the game would come with punchboard tokens like you get in most games. But if you mention this podcast, if you mention Play the Game in your notes when you purchase the game, I'll go ahead and include the sticks and the pans with the game. And I'll do that until the end. Well, let's make it until the end of June.
Until the end of June it is?
Yep.
All right, Brent, well, thank you very much.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thanks for stopping by, and look forward. It's a podcast that I enjoy, so I look forward to seeing it on there.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.